I wanted to talk about a subject that we started to talk about on stream last week, and then it devolved into like a very long, hour-long discussion of chat being very against my take on it, and I realized that I just had a take. And over the weekend, I did some digging into it, and I thought about my take more on it, and I agree with more of what chat was saying. For instance, if you don't know, last week we were talking about all of the new laws that are coming out with age verification, and my take was I didn't care if people would take my information. I, at this point, have just accepted that everybody in the world and in every company out there is going to have all of my data and that it's all being sold to other people. And maybe I'm like, that like adds to my net worth somehow because like they want to like sell my data for a certain amount of money. Like, what am I worth? You know, like, am I valuable to these companies? Like, maybe they like me or whatever. Maybe they like the data that they get from me. Maybe they see a picture of me and think that I'm like pretty cute or whatever. But that's like basically where my take ended, that I just really didn't care about the age verification stuff. And chat made me think about it from a different avenue, which was, it's not about them taking your information and having your information, because again, everybody does have your information. It's the fact that these laws are being proposed by governments of what should be behind the age verification walls, and they are deciding what goes behind there. So if somebody gets into office that, for instance, doesn't like trans rights, they can then say that should be 18 plus content. We shouldn't be teaching queer things to kids, and then you have to prove that you are 18 plus just to view queer related content on the internet. So I was wrong, and I want to just say that I was wrong on that, and you guys were right, and that's why I like these discussions. I'm gonna say it. I don't give a if the government knows what I'm jacking it to. I don't care. But that's, again, that's me. I am like very doomer on that of like, listen, it's your problem if you're watching. That's the way that I'm looking at it. Last week, I didn't mean for it to get into this like major discussion on it. I just wanted to share this funny story because it started in the UK, where the UK was going to have a new law in place saying that NSFW content needs to be age restricted. So you need to prove that you are 18 plus in order to view it. And the big people that were being talked about was Discord, because Discord is one of the first companies earlier this month to implement age verification on their platform for people that live in the UK. But the reason that I wanted to talk about it is because I found it really funny that you could use the photo mode in Death Stranding 2 and bypass the age verification filter by taking a picture of your character in the video game and then putting that as your profile, or putting that as the picture that you send to Discord, and they will allow you on the platform. And that was what I wanted to talk about last week, and then it devolved into a larger topic because people started asking me my opinions on bigger things. I thought that I knew what I thought I had a good opinion on it. I didn't, and chat educated me on it, and I went up and looked my own stuff up afterwards, and I have a more agreeing opinion. But I think that's hilarious because that also probably leads into, this can probably be duped by AI. This can probably be duped by other games. And I really want to like go down the rabbit hole now of like what games can get away with it. Like, could Tomb Raider get away with it? Probably not. But like maybe one of like random football players from like the Madden, I don't know, 2008 could get away with it. That's the thing. Like, some fighting games could get you in, says Armadillo in chat. Detroit Become Human. Could Mario? Mario kind of looks like a kid. Don't show the body because he's a little short. Make sure he has the mushroom beforehand. But anyways, there's been an update because this is not just a law that's being implemented in the UK anymore. There's now talks about laws being implemented in all of Europe for age verification. I think all of the EU, quote unquote. So yeah, sorry, I say Europe because I'm a dumb American, and the EU is different than the Europe because they're talking about the European Union. And so the EU is now getting the age verification law. And one of the first things that is getting age verified is actually Twitter.com, aka X, the everything app. And I heard about this morning because I was having my weekly meeting with the Frost Prime team this morning, and Armadillo was telling me about this, so much so that this is a screenshot of what some of his media feed looks like. This is literally everything is age verified. And this could be something that's, you know, age verified of like a specific topic of like, you know, something that could be like talking about a war. And this is like the trending tab of the war, but this is literally what he sees. This is the feed. It says, due to local laws, we are temporarily restricting access to content X. Man, here estimates your image. And if you click on this link, it takes you to this age assurance on X, about age assurance. How our age assurance works, where X is legally required to do so. We take multiple step assurance approach to verify or estimate whether users are 18 or older. This helps appropriate settings such as restricting access to sensitive media, including pornography. And there's some easy ways around this, like your account was created in 2012 or earlier, and it basically alludes to the fact that if you were 13 when you were supposed to create this account in 2012, then you are guaranteed to be above the age of 18 pretty much, even if you were bypassing that. But they also have an XID verification process, right? And if you click on this, it just takes you another article. But if you find it in your settings, this is where you go. you can see that there's this ID verification tab. So you can click and get the ID verification, except it's locked behind it's locked behind Twitter Premium. Just another way. If you want to goon on Twitter, you now are legally required to pay for Twitter Blue. Pay up, motherfuckers. Elon Musk lobbying for the EU to make this his law so that he can get another 100,000 Twitter Blue signatures. It's just absolutely hilarious. And so now some memes have been coming out. I liked this one. Getting Twitter Blue to verify I'm 18 so I can goon to Grok AI. Actually true. Wait, can you? Wait, that. Obviously you can't use the Grok AI anime girl because that's obviously behind Twitter Blue already. Like overall, I think that this is, a very dangerous, because now not only does the EU get to decide what Twitter has to put behind the age verification, but also Twitter gets to decide what is put behind the age verification. And that's exactly what chat was trying to talk to me about last week, and to which I have now, had a new stance on, because I hadn't even considered it in caring about whether or not age verification happened, is do you really like the idea of Elon Musk getting to decide what children can and cannot see on the platform? Do you really think that he is the person that should be deciding? Do you think that giant companies or billionaires or governments should be deciding what is considered 18 plus?
That's very concerning. Almost as concerning as Frost evicting tenants with cancer.
Allegedly. Please verify your age in order to be able to confirm that content or not. One example of this is this company, Collective Shout, which you've probably heard in the news recently, but you may have not heard the entirety of the news. Collective Shout is, I believe, an Australian nonprofit that started a campaign to ban specific games from Steam and from itch.io. And they started with a lot of people behind their movement because they wanted to target games like this game called No Mercy that literally is a rape game. That is what they were trying to get rid of, is games and games like it that fantasized rape, fantasized sexual assault, fantasized just disgusting thing. Why is their logo a butthole? Recently, they went to a lot of big payment systems like Visa, MasterCard, etc., and they got every single NSFW game taken off of itch.io. They're unindexed from itch.io because they decided that every single NSFW game should not be allowed. Any game that just has a boob in it. Like, they now have been the deciding factor of what is too far, right? It's because they pressured the payment processors, which we've seen 1,000 times happen. But this is just another example. What about violence? I'm not exactly sure. We have unindexed all adult NSFW content from browser page. I think it's just, as far as I know, chat, correct me. I think it's just nudity type stuff. It's just pornography. It's adult themes, not just porn, which is the worst part. Wait, really? Wait, this is like all, wait, is that actually true? What about Baldur's Gate 3 or Ultra Kill, games that are heavily, have both heavy NSFW? Yeah, I mean, like, that's what I'm saying is, like, where's the line, and why should this random Australian company get to decide what the line is? Because we obviously can agree that No Mercy should not be allowed on the platform. We can obviously agree. I want that to never be misconstrued, that nobody is saying the games that they originally were going after deserve to be on the platform. Nobody is championing that. It's just when they've now gone to the payment processors to have this overarching strong arm against what should and should not be allowed on the platform. And so right now, itch.io has unindexed all of the games, which is just straight up removed some games, by the way. Some people have just literally seen games removed from their accounts. And they say that they have to go through a review process to ensure that we can meet the requirements of our payment processors, which the payment processors are notorious for getting things banned on certain platforms. They're the reason why Tumblr got fucked up, if I'm correct. And they are the reason why OnlyFans, for a short period of time, said that they were going to be stopping putting pornographic content on their platform. OnlyFans was strong-armed by payment processors to not have pornographic content. I'm gonna say that one more time. OnlyFans. It's just an example of, again, I'm not against more moderation in terms of content. It's just when we decide, should these massive companies that have such control over the world, should they be the ones to decide where the line is? That's all that it is, right? Because we can all agree on a lot of things should not be available, but should we allow Elon Musk to be the person that gets to decide what is age restricted on the platform, or should we allow payment processing companies to be the ones to dictate what games are and aren't allowed on Steam and itch.io? Should we allow Visa to be the arbiter of whether or not booba is allowed in video game? That's just the whole thing. And again, I'm not probably the smartest person to talk about it. I more wanted to focus on the funny part of having to do this. I more wanted to focus on this. This is where I wanted to end. But I just thought relating it to something that's really happening in the world is just a way to visualize it. It's easy to just say, f it, but it's like literally happening right now. That's it. That's the whole bit.
He's an arsonist on a noble quest to escape the wrath of the IRS. He's got conflicting positions in the endless fight for queer folk